Welcome back, folks. Today what we're going to be doing after getting the light in the sky and the foliage is moving on to the grass. Now a lot of my work is illusion of detail. What I mean by that is that most of it is perceived detail, not actual detail. Recently one of my colleagues received some work for a show that was just held over in Adelaide. And for years he's been looking at the stuff on the internet and being quite surprised by the amount of detail that he can see in there. When he received the work he was even more blown away because most of what he perceived was exactly that, just perceived. Now the first thing I like to do when I'm working with the grass is lay in some dark before tones. The obvious one being brown. Just running a couple of layers here, nothing too much. At the end of the day it's going to be covered anyway. But this little bit will just help keep the darker areas in place as I want them to be. You can use a great deal of colours through here. As we did previously, Bordeaux would actually work quite well. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of that just at the base of the ostrich. It will help give it a deeper base tone and create some stronger shadow areas through there. As with the foliage, while it reads as being green with the grass, I like to get there and play around with a lot of other colour in there as well. It's that variation that makes the difference. I will be using a lot of paper colour at this point to get my texture. So I'm going to start off with just a nice pale burnt sienna. Working along the edge of where the foliage is and just running some random strokes. Once again, I'm changing my angles constantly. Making sure I've got plenty of overlaps happening. Don't forget, just hit it and move on. The less fiddling you can do at this point, the better. Not only does it make it more economic to get there and do the work, but it gives it a nice energy as well. With that orange in place, I am going to run a very pale green over the top, just in places, not all over. Leaving plenty of the orange seep through. And for this I'm just using the tip. A lot of people ask me whether I use pastel pencil to get my finer detail. I've actually taken the time and learned how to do nearly everything with the sticks. If you're that way inclined, it's definitely worth the exercise. Once you can do it, it gives you so much more control than you ever would have had before. Now through this, I'm just going to run a tiny bit of that dark olive that we put through the foliage, just keeping everything in rhythm once again. Now, if you remember correctly, we did use a bit of very pale spectrum orange just across that lower edge of the horizon. And now I'm also also going to make sure that we've got a balance here by flicking just a little bit into the grasses. It's worked quite nicely, as it gives a wonderful warm highlight. It just dries the grass up a little bit. Just helps accentuate that heat in the scene. While I'm at it, I'm just going to a couple of moments back into the foliage, picking up here and there just where I want some extra highlights to be in those leaves in the tree. Just having that flowing through the piece gives us a pattern of light. Now you can see immediately the way that that's pulling together. Now it's just a matter of building layers. For the next pass, we're actually going to go in working with our Australian leaf green. Just a little bit stronger in tone than the previous ones. As promised, leaving a lot of space in between my stroke work here. I want the paper to do as much of this as possible, because that just helps create some more variation. While I am working vigorously here, I'm not working incredibly heavily. Which means there's a lot less pastel dust to be dealing with as well. Start pulling that through the shaded areas. As you can see, it's already pulling the pigment around at that point, which is just what I want it to do. Dragging it up into the image in other places, but also creating this wonderful warm shadow through the base here. Now what I like to do with a lot of these is use the grass to create subtle forms, just to help guide the eye. Changing angles, changing directions when placing the highlights gives us a bit more control. Just bringing in a little bit of green ochre now. So we're getting a lot of body there, a lot of depth. Creating the light, creating the scene. If you'd like to see more, make sure that you log onto my website, www.leighrust.com, and sign up for the online classes. Many videos will be released over the next few months showing you all these techniques. And there's also the option for online Skype classes for live one-on-one tuition from myself. We'll leave it at that and wrap up with a photo of the piece so you can see where we all got to. Thanks for watching.